Welcome back to YUVA Unplugged Season 2, Episode 4, where we question everything we were taught to never question. We have with us Dr. Sonam Mahajan. She is a media educator and a professor and a sustainability advocate, and someone who has been actively shaping conversations around Gen Z, mindful parenting, communication patterns, and how the digital world is changing the way we learn and interact. Hi, ma'am, how are you? I'm good. How are you? All good, ma'am. And today's episode is basically everything Gen Z students' inner rant turned into a beautiful academic discussion. People usually say Gen Z is distracted, but what if we are actually wired differently? I would disagree with that they are wired differently. Yes, it is human nature that we easily get distracted. And at the age that Gen Zs right now are young adults, it's very easy to get distracted. I remember my own college days. I was distracted very easily with everything new happening around me. So I don't think that they are differently wired or are very frequently distracted. They are as distracted as we were when we were their age. All right, makes sense. Why do short visual and interactive formats like reels and podcast work better for Gen Z rather than long lectures? I think because they have been digital natives, they were born with the internet and they have been using it at a very young age since their schools. Using screens, digital gadgets has been like their second nature. With all of that said, spending time over the internet and then realizing that a podcast or reels or any kind of short snackable video is an easier way to get attention. I think this is happening not just with the Gen Zs but millennials and even senior people. I see my mother spending long hours watching reels and shorts on YouTube. So it's not just her, it's because of the tech that we are so surrounded with that all of us as a human, the generations are glued to short format, and because they are so engaging with the video techniques that are used, it is so that we are more engaged with such content. So why are we making it so Gen Z centric? It's not Gen Z centric. It's technology. It's if I am also given a option to watch a short format YouTube or a long format podcast, I would choose a short over a podcast where I can get quick information which will save my time. So I don't think it is Gen Z specific. Makes sense, but doctors are usually saying that you are getting health issues after watching reels and podcasts, short videos for a longer period of time. Yeah, the issues that the as a professor, that the issue that I see in Gen Z's or students is that their attention span has lowered. It has reduced to as short as at 20 minutes maximum in a lecture, which is around 1 hour or 55 minutes. They are attentive for 20 minutes. So, as a professor, I need to change my techniques, my pedagogy, my teaching methodology to get their attention. And talking about the health issues, yes, and that's again not based only on Gen Zs. All of us who are spending long hours watching screens or spending too much time on Instagram or YouTube, we are all in that same health concern. We are all getting neck sprains, we are all getting headaches, we are all getting stiff fingers because of long hours usage of mobile phones. So it's again not just young adults but millennials and even older people are getting the same kind of health issues because of the usage and over consumption of internet and social media platforms. Can we also say all this reels and podcast watching also hampers the mental health of a individual? Uh, to go by the word, yes, it does, because everything that you consume shapes you. So if you're watching negative videos all the time, it will definitely have a bad influence and a bad impact on your mind. And if you are watching good videos, as in positive videos, but watching them for too long, it will have an impact on your health. So consumption should be balanced, and what you watch, that has to be very very critically analyzed that, what am I consuming? Am I consuming random comedy or dance videos, or am I listening to somebody who is more experienced than me and can tell me something new?
What are the biggest ways the traditional education system fails to match Gen Z's learning style?
Okay, so what is Gen Z's learning style? Gen Z's, what I feel as a professor and notice among students is that one, they are very intrigued with visual content. So if I go and show them a PowerPoint or a video in a class, they will all be suddenly very attentive. So I think visual content works for them even in classrooms. Then again, PPT shouldn't be black and white. I think PPT has to be made on Canva so that it is colorful, it has animations and graphics, so that I get the attention of these students in my class. So I think strategizing the content according to what these students, who are also my audience, wants to pay attention to, works well. Also, I've seen that students or Gen Z's are very self-paced learners. You can't overload them with information. They take it in bits and pieces. So a lot of times during the class, I have to ask my students that you look like that you're overloaded with information, and they're like, ma'am, aaj ke liye bahut ho gaya. So at that point of time, I stop going or jumping to the next topic, wait a while, we revise the same thing or discuss a case related to the topic that we have discussed. So that helps them uh, in ways that they are not overloaded with information. So I think best way to understand Gen Zs is to speak to them, listen to them, and then effectively strategizing your own content in classrooms.
Uh, do you think schools are still operating like factories teaching factory workers? How is it hurting today's learners?
Uh, our education system is still dated back in British India. And unfortunately, even after the NEP 2020, which was a great policy, everything has not been implemented thanks to the resources and the limited infrastructure that we have in India. Uh, Having said that, I think education system is changing for good, and the change comes from families and then to schools. Okay, so as a parent, what kind of school are you choosing for your child is very, very important. What kind of output you're looking for. So there are parents who are selecting IB boards, a different curriculum, so that their child gets a different kind of education. So there are schools which are now offering Japanese curriculum. So in Gurgaon, they are cropping up right now. So as a parent also, we need to think that what is best for my child, what kind of learning pace my child has, and what kind of career he or she might choose later in life. I'm not saying that you choose their careers, but yes, you always understand their likes and dislikes from a very early age. So instead of blaming everything on the education system and on the schools, we also need to understand the limitations that the Indian education system has, and also that NEP 2020 implementation is still in transition. So we have to give it time so that it is implemented properly, effectively, and then we'll be able to see certain results.
Makes sense. At the same time, what challenges does technology bring? Distraction, dependency, or lack of depth?
Dependency, yes, we are all dependent on technology for all the good reasons. I think it's a very, very individual choice that how dependent you are on technology, right? So, if I am making all my presentations on Canva, so would you call me dependent on technology? Yeah, the
Yes.
research is mine, right? But I'm using technology or AI tools to enhance my own knowledge, right? So whatever I know, if I go and just vomit in my class, who's going to listen to me? But a beautiful Canva presentation with a lot of graphics and animation, students are going to pay attention, right? But the case study that I will discuss, or the examples that I will discuss, they are not on Canva, right? They are mine. So I think depth of knowledge is again dependent on the individual who's talking in class, plus how you are using technology is it's in our hands that how effectively we are using it and how efficiently we produce the outcome with the use of our own knowledge, experience, plus the technology. Talking about how students take it, you have to make ground rules for your classroom, right? So in my class, students are not allowed to use their mobile phones. It has to be inside their bags or pockets and not on the table. So that helps them pay attention to what is going on in the class. So if you set up certain kind of ground rules and you go well prepared with, with the help of technology, and you have good knowledge, I think the classes are engaging.
And what's your take on, like, you people usually make their PPTs using Gemini or ChatGPT just 2 minutes before their presentation. So is it reducing their creativity level also?
Yes, of course, that is. I think we all need to understand that AI should be treated as an assistant and not as your brain. We humans have our own uniqueness through our mindsets and our brains, right? So using our brains would only enhance our power. And I think in the age of AI, it is very, very important that we restore and embrace our own humanness, our own emotions, and our own knowledge instead of totally depending on AI.
What practices can help maintain focus, mindfulness, digital detox, intentional learning? Is it multitasking actually a strength for Gen Z when used at the right way?
Multitasking, everybody cannot do multitasking, be it Gen Z or a millennial. I don't think multitasking can be done by everybody and anyone. Uh, but I think if you are using tech in the right way, it is definitely going to help you, right? Talking about the digital detox, very, very important. So there are few things that everybody can follow. For example, you should have 1 day of social media detox. For example, let's say on Sunday you are spending time with your family and you are not going to spend any of your time on social media, so you will get a kind of digital detox on Sunday, right? And similarly, you can have zones in your home, that or even in office, that these are the times, so these are the zones where I am not going to use my phone or any of the screens that I have. That will help you create that kind of intentional learning scenario. For example, I'm a parent of a 8-year-old, right? uh, she is Gen Alpha and not a Gen Z. Looking at her, when I compare sometimes, so I don't think she's easily distracted, but she's easily bored, right? So if she has nothing to do, she'll be like, Mama, I'm bored, Mama, I'm bored. So you have to keep these children, even young students, engaged in some activity. And if you choose screen over paint colors, it's your choice as a parent, as a student, as a young adult as well. So it depends on a lot of individuals, that how they are making use of their time, and intentional learning would be possible if we are doing digital detox for sure.
What would an ideal learning environment for Gen Z look like?
It would have a balance of visual content, which is self-paced, and engaging conversations, which talk about authenticity, talk about some kind of social impact. They're all very concerned about causes. I remember in my college, I was never concerned about sustainability, but these kids are, very much into sustainability, about social work, about, so, they have these all climate change.
Cute, because we are
Yeah.
being taught about sustainability in every subject, every standard, right?
So all of these causes that in your head, I think it value based learning is what Gen Zs look forward to. So that kind of environment we are able to create in a classroom, I think will get all the attention.
How should teachers and parents adapt to support this new learning style?
I think for professors, one thing that needs to change is classroom monologues. I have been a victim of classroom monologues myself as a student, and even if I'm not a Gen Z, late millennial, I did not like it. So I always thinking from that perspective. I think that even if I am a professor today, I will never bore my students with a monologue. So interactive classrooms where students also get to speak about their experiences, plus use of tech. I'm very emphasizing on that, because without technology, I don't think you will get the kind of attention that the Gen Z gives you uh, otherwise, right? So use of tech in a positive manner, engaging conversation, and self pace. That's very, very important. You have to take feedback from your students and from your audience, that what kind of, things they are liking. So go with that thing.
So, one last question for this episode. Then we'll be following up with the rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Do you think the future of education is a partnership between students plus teachers plus technology?
We are leaving behind parents here. I think it would be a collaborative effort of teachers, parents, students, and technology. I would like to add parents to it, because parents also play a very, very important role in shaping how a child learns, right? And that relationship has to be maintained, because first hand knowledge and first hand experiences you get from your parents.
So, coming up to the rapid fire questions. What's the one thing Gen Z hates the most about traditional classrooms?
Monologues.
Are long lectures outdated? Yes or no?
Yes.
Visual content or textbooks?
Visual content.
Which works better for Gen Zs?
Visual content.
Is multitasking a superpower or a distraction?
A superpower if you have one.
One word to describe Gen Z's learning style.
Self-paced.
Old education system is one in one sentence.
Old education system in one sentence. Outdated, needs to be changed.
Reels or reading? What teaches faster?
Teaches faster.
Yes.
Reading.
Biggest myth about Gen Z learners?
Myth about.
Yes.
Myth is that they don't read. I would disagree with that thing. This is a rapid fire, but I would like to add just one sentence
Yes.
here, that the number of reading clubs that have come up post 2022 is much higher than any number of reading clubs that were ever heard of. So I think Gen Zs are reading. What they are reading, that is questionable, that is debatable, but they are reading. So I don't think they have stopped reading. They are finding peace in reading.
All right. Tech in learning, blessing or curse?
Blessing, blessing.
What's the one thing all teachers should change immediately?
Mm, Not using technology
Yes.
appropriately, that needs to be changed.
Does the current education system inspire creativity? Yes or no?
Current education system after implementation of NEP 2020, yes, it does.
What stresses students more, exams or expectations?
Both. Both.
What if we have to stick on one?
uh, Exams.
Should schools teach coding to everyone?
Schools teach coding to everyone? No. Why so? Because if you do not have, in school, if a child doesn't perform in one subject, for example Hindi, so the child takes it to their heart कि मुझे हिंदी नहीं आता, बाकी सबको आता है. Now Hindi is a language and should be learned, but coding, you can't give it to everyone to learn. Everybody will not be able to cope up with coding.
But if we are predicting future as technology, so technology is also linked with coding, right?
Yes, technology is linked with coding, but are we looking at a future where everybody would be doing the same thing?
But we can take basic efforts to teach
You
them
can give them a
basic
choice.
coding at least.
You can give them a choice of learning coding at an early age, but not making it a compulsory. Not right now.
What's the Gen Z's biggest strength as learners?
Mm, Biggest strength. Are there any? Biggest strength of Gen Zs would be that they connect very quickly. They connect very. उनको हर चीज, this is relatable.
Highly interactive with
Yeah.
people.
So they connect very easily.
Highly adaptable, we can say.
Not adaptable, but they can get connected. Connected in the sense, for example, uh, so if even if they're looking at a very short uh, video content, let's say a reel which is just 30 seconds, if they find that reel informative or educative, or they find this person charming enough, they will get connected with this person. It's very easy for them to get connected and content, topics or people.
One outdated practice that needs to be abolished now.
In colleges or in schools.
Anyways.
I think this would be very controversial, but I think timings, that fixating time for everything, because we are in a world where uh, timelines, yes, deadlines are important, but timelines can be flexible. I think that now needs to be changed. If we look at European or Japanese school culture and the school policies, they do not have this kind of very rigid timings for everything. That can be abolished. Maybe, maybe not. To teach discipline, timing is important, I understand, but you teach them about deadlines instead of telling them to attend classes at an early hour or at a late hour. So that needs to be abolished. We need to teach them about time management and deadlines, but not about waking up like 5 a.m. That is not very compulsory.
So we have almost ended up with the episode. So
Okay.
any one major point you can address to the Gen Z generation, which can inspire them.
I think one thing that I would like to tell Gen Zs is that don't be oversensitive. We are all here for you. All that you feel can be expressed in so many forms, starting from writing to creating a reel over it. Do not be oversensitive about every little thing. That would be my message to them.
Thank you
Otherwise,
so
you're
much.
all doing very well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really nice talking to you. Bye until the next episode.